Woo, start recording.
Oh, hello.
And I just realized I haven't even downloaded our PDF file. So today we're gonna just check it out in Figma directly. We're like really raw
Okay.
and crude about this. Shall we wait, let's say, 3 more minutes to see if some others want to join?
Yeah, we should wait. Also, I mean, since I'm sure Kojak, etc., will want to come and talk about because he just shared his plan, right?
I haven't seen that.
The idea generation volts, yeah, he just shared it at like 20 minutes back.
Oh, great.
So you can have Laksh maybe introduce yourself if you want to. Like, what's your background? Like, what's your interest in token engineering, etc.?
Oh yeah, we can start with this. That's a good idea.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, lovely. Okay. Just a quick intro then. I'm from the traditional finance world. So the last 21 years I have been into private banking and wealth management space. So especially, either working for banks or working as a consultant for the banks. Primarily concentrating on large-scale transformations of the banking systems. So that's my specialization. And as a role, I do business analyst roles. So basically collect requirements, from business users and see how that transforms into software. That's what I do. And for the blockchain, I've been doing this for the last 1 year now. So not last 1 year, started January. So probably 10 months. Since the last 10 months, I've been doing blockchain. So when I say doing blockchain, it's more of exploration, reading. And I also did some consulting for some Algorand lending protocols. Based on my experience, I gave them a few ideas how they could actually transform their existing landscape and what they can actually do as a solution. There was also another group which was trying to launch something similar to Tornado Cash, but then after the Tornado Cash ban, they stopped it. So I was also helping or giving them some ideas and what they can do in terms of, again, that was also a lending protocol. So this is what I have been doing, and I'm part of the Australian DeFi Association, and that's why actually I got to know about token engineering. So one of the folks from the Australian DeFi Association is part of token engineering, and then he mentioned, quite a lot of good activities are happening here, and the material is actually wonderful. So that's primarily why I joined token engineering Discord. Then I was going through the various groups, and I was, trying to read out what everybody was doing, and I accidentally bumped into what you guys are doing, and the label visual learners. That's what attracted me. Then I started going into the staff, and
Oh, thank you for your proper background.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a really cool background that you have.
Thanks.
Nice to have you.
As well, folks. Thanks.
Oh man, this has been quite the ride, hasn't it? Like thinking when I first joined the Token Engineering Academy back in, when was it? Like April was the first time I learned about it. Similar to Laksh, I learned about it through someone else that Rohan also had a chance to meet like a few weeks ago, no? 2-3 weeks ago. You met Mark. And since then, all the stuff we've discussed, we've learned from each other. We've learned through the materials that were prepared so well for us. It's been, quite exhilarating, I would say. This is a word.
Yes.
Feels right. Okay.
Awesome, folks.
I think we are way too early for a few folks. They're probably only going to join in, let's say, half an hour, I would assume. But how about we quickly go through the first few slides, and then we could already start, discussing project proposals, because we're recording it anyway. So if they miss something, they have an opportunity to review what they've missed. And I think over the period of the coming few days, I would, collect all the different ideas and short descriptions, and would make a little like emoji voting post in our channel. And then we can see what are the top 3, or maybe it's just one top 1, because Strada cannot join us today. He has to take care of the kids. He already announced that a few days ago because his wife is out. And yeah, so it's anyway today probably a rather small group. Okay. Let's do this. So we're in session 8, which is crazy. On Friday, 11th of November, we have a few things. One we have already checked off the list, which is introduction for newcomers. Already did that. Thank you for introducing yourself. Homework, feedback, fairy tale. So just want to quickly inquire how everyone felt about starting module 3, how you've been doing with the past 2 modules, right, where you're at, kind of all of that. And then we would go into group project. So as per usual, the session is being recorded, just be aware. And yeah, we did that already. And we all know all of us belong here, which is nice. And first maybe quickly feedback on how have you been doing with module 1 and module 2. Have you already done your the exams? Just quickly want to hear some feedback because I also have some questions from the TEA that I'm supposed to ask. So Rachel, where you're at?
Yeah, I've read through module 2. I've taken the test one time, but when I read through it, I've read through it like over the course of 2 weeks. So not much of it stuck in my head. So anyway, I failed the exam. Yay me. I'm getting good at that. And took 2 hours worth of notes on module 2 to share with people. And I've discussed that, I think, with y'all before. And HackMD decided they didn't like my notes. And so they went into the ether somewhere. So I'm still on module 2. Like a third of the way through it with notes. And it just really kind of pisses me off that HackMD did that with my notes. That's the first time I've ever had HackMD actually delete notes or any type of information that I've typed into the interface for the platform.
Yeah, that's quite strange.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that. Yeah.
Did they give you any feedback on it? Like, was it against the guidelines or anything? Seems rather strange.
Nah, I didn't. They didn't. I mean, nothing popped up, but I also didn't send in any requests because, I hate contacting companies because they give you some standardized response. They don't ever give you information.
Yeah, that's fair.
So anyway, that's where I'm at. Sorry to be so down about it.
To be fair, like the exams they aren't as intuitive as you'd think, and like even Stella got stuck on some questions. Like there are many questions where it's kind of ambiguous, especially the multiple choice ones. And you just have to make a mistake and do it again and again, sometimes 3 times.
Yeah, no, I only got it right, after 3-4 tries?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I'm a specific case. I think Rohan was also surprised. I keep notes of all the questions.
Yeah. No, I started doing that for modules because there I gave the exam like thrice, and I thought I was right about everything that I solved, but the questions were wrong in module 4.
Yeah.
So it helped having notes so that I knew what I'd put last time, so I can at least show to the people where the exams are going wrong to. Yeah. Seeker, you also had that issue, right? Like with module 4.
Who? Chris?
Seeker. Yeah.
Seeker. Hi, Seeker.
Yeah. Hi. I have actually reached out to Angela about the question that we discussed.
Yeah.
And she said that I'm on the right track, but not entirely right. So she's going to enlighten me more. So let's see.
I think you're right only. And we had that. There's a channel called T Fundamentals, right? I don't know. Everyone has access to that, right?
Yeah. I haven't checked there.
Yeah, the discussion's going on there about your answer.
Okay. I haven't checked that yet.
And
Also,
anyone else?
quick mini announcement in between, right? Yesterday was a session to mint our first tokens. So I mean, it was a little bit dangerous because if it would have failed, like, I would have needed to pass the tests again. But it went well. They are on Optimism. This is where they are being hosted. I wasn't aware of that. I thought they would be on Ethereum. But it was a really cool session and it worked. So probably the NFT minting process is going live soon. I obviously will keep you all posted when this is happening, but I think you will see the news probably before me. Okay.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyone else with Module 1 exams, Module 2 exams, or any feedback on that front?
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Yeah. I also passed Module 1 and Module 2. I think the idea of taking notes is quite useful. I think Module 2 took me 2 times, and the second exam was slightly different from the first one. So, it's for anyone who believes that the questions are exactly the same, probably somewhat mistaken. Although I think the questions are quite similar. So that's that. I've started. I mean, as Roro was saying, I think some of the questions are quite ambiguous. So having notes on your side, it's quite good in the sense of kind of eliminating the wrong answers. But otherwise, I'm sort of looking forward to kicking off Module 3.
Okay, so I think so wait, does that mean that a lot of us have crossed? We are on Module 3, right? Like, I forgot. Sorry. So we finished Module 1 and Module 2 completely as a group, and Module 3 we are midway through, right?
I guess Laksh is not quite there yet because he just recently joined. Laksh, how are you doing? Are you on Module 1 right now?
No, actually, I started with Module 2. I had a quick look at Module 1, and then during one of the earlier discussions, Roro was also suggesting that it would be good to start with Module 2 to catch up with you guys. So that's what I'm doing now. Currently in Module 2, somewhere midway through. Hopefully planning to have or take the exams maybe next week. Hopefully, should be there.
Woo! Awesome. Okay, but don't leave out Module 1. Module 1 is important, right? I'm like, don't.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Sounds good. Cool. This is actually really good news, Roro.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm very proud of you. I mean, it sounds so strange when I say it, but thank you.
No, and with Module 3, at least the fairy tale part was pretty self-explanatory. I thought, like, at least I didn't have any struggle going through it. And it was very well designed too. I really liked the idea of the storytelling to
Oh, is this just me?
No, he froze.
No,
I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's frozen.
You froze.
Is that my audio?
It was your audio, but also it was your face. You were like...
Oh, okay, my internet. Wow. Yeah. So
okay.
How do we want to go through the session? Let's discuss the fairy tale maybe a bit, and then
I mean, honestly, I just wrote the chapters here to confirm with you guys that you went at least through the 4 first chapters. I also thought it's quite self-explanatory. I don't know if you guys remember from last week when Kat talked a little bit about downloading and reformatting for her specific needs. So I brought that specific need to Octopus, who designed all of these sessions for us. And he's actually very open to hearing more. So I made a group with him, Kat, and me. And so if you guys discover anything that, like comes from a special need, right? Like dyslexia or ADHD or you name it, right? If you find something, or even as a visual learner, if you find something that could be done better, it's already done so well, right? It's not to criticize. It's rather to just make it better. So if you have any constructive ideas, I would say bring them to me, because I already have that conversation open, and maybe I can add it on top, and we can just make it even more better, even more better. Yeah, just maybe write me a DM for that, for those things, because it's specific, and also maybe you don't feel super comfortable sharing certain specific needs with everyone. So feel free to do that. As for the fairy tales, I thought it was written so well. First, I was a little bit confused. I was like, wait, why are we suddenly halfway into Mars colonization? I was like, what the hell are they trying to tell us? But then it became very obvious very soon, didn't it? And I also thought it was very well done that there was audio and the text. I personally do so much better with text. I also have trouble listening to podcasts or Twitter spaces. I get distracted instantly. Text keeps me focused. So yeah. But any questions about this, or anything that you want to discuss about it?
From my end, I thought it was pretty self-explanatory, except the I mean the last sections were interesting, where they were discussing about the different design choices that we can have, like the constant sum market makers, and
Oh wait,
that was
that is reaching beyond Fairy Tale 4, isn't it?
Is it? I thought it was. Oh, maybe I just crossed one extra. Yeah. Oh, then my bad. No, because see, go through Fatal 4. Yeah, and we scroll down. Oh, that's 5. Okay, my bad.
I think it's 5. Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, I wasn't there yet. Don't spoil it. No, you can spoil it. It's okay.
Yeah. And also, like, I really liked the idea of like them going through, like the thought process of how you can generate liquidity through. I mean, instead of finding a peer to actually trade with, you can actually create a system in which like you trade with the system, the protocol instead of the peer. That was also that building out to that solution made more sense to me than just knowing that liquidity pools exist. So I like the storytelling aspect.
I understood better how order books used to work. Sounds really dumb, but it was like, oh yeah, okay, this is a very simplified version of looking at it, and why they became a need in the first place. Because I have no economics background, I never had to deal with the idea of order books even. So for me, it was helpful, I think.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Otherwise, we're straight moving.
Yeah, I think this part was easy.
Yeah.
Questions.
Right.
Yeah.
I think so too. Let's move on to the fun part. The study club project. Okay, so here is a thing, right? I talked to Curious Rabbit yesterday. I know some of you know him, and from Machinations, and also from his practical TE server. And I think we are kind of the only study group that already decided to do a practical exercise. And he feels like he has been taking on too much. And he really wants to focus on Machinations for himself. So he asked me if, I would want to kind of like run the server. I said, no, I really don't, because I'm already so tight on time. But we could use the practical TE server as our playground, right? And developing those exercises. So this is just like, I need some kind of reaction from you if you're for it. If you're against using another server aside from the TEA server, then just hold your horses. So if you want us to use the practical TE server, then please thumbs up now, or a heart, or whatever kind of emoji, right? And
I think it'll be a good division. The channel in visual learners to study, and we keep that for that server for project. I think it'll be a.
Yeah, I think so too. So Rachel was for it, Roro is for it, I'm for it. How about Laksh, Hibiscus?
Wanted to ask a quick question. So that is a server called as Practical TE server, is it?
Yeah. So it's separate. It's currently separate from TEA. Curious Habit, I think, on the side was developing just a community where we all come and actually apply the skills that we're learning through the courses, and use actual tools like Machinations or CAD to implement the things that we're learning. And that, I think, then the conversation got brought to Angela and the TEA people. Stella, you probably know what happened from there.
Yeah, exactly. I was part of the conversation, so because I'm also in Machinations, and so the kind of current conclusion is, if we detail out in a little bit more clarified way what we want to do with the practical TE server, then there is a actually high probability, I would say, we're going to merge it eventually with the TEA server. Right, but as of now, she's a little bit hesitant. She wants to know what we're trying to do there, and once this becomes more clarified, we're going to join all of that probably with the TAs. But
I think the way it should be used is that we build projects together on practical TE, like that server, and we end up. It'll help as a repository for new students or like other channels also on the space to go and refer to something that, hey, okay, this is how they went through the process of building something. So documenting it will be really good.
No, I agree with that. I think that's actually a good idea. Also, it would
give us projects.
Yeah, and it would kind of keep a little bit of a separation between the people who just come in to, understand everything a bit better, right, from a more philosophical or more ethical point of view, and from the people who actually want to really get, let's say, their hands dirty on, trying stuff out and modeling things. And I think that probably that needs its own server. So if you guys
how will we
are for
distribute
it,
the time? Like, do we? So then basically that would mean that every Friday we continue the modules out here, and some other time of the week maybe we build the project out there, or async or something. Like, is that how the plan?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, ideally, because now we have always set the session to 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I think we can take this session probably down to something like 45 minutes, right? I would even claim maybe less, depends.
Yeah.
Depending on, how much stuff we have to cover. But I think all the next things, the text will become less and the practical application will become more. So the balance is kind of shifting in that sense, right? And so I think it would be even really cool if we could take half an hour or 45 minutes here on the server to clarify, all questions, problems, or difficulties that people had going through what we've been reading, and then take the other 45 minutes to an hour to actually apply the knowledge. If you could pair it up, right, even with maybe a 5 or 10 minute break, that would be probably the most amazing version. But I'm aware that might be a little bit hard to.
No, I think that's the best solution
You think
to
so?
the problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there might also because the second half of doing the projects be different groups. Like there might be smaller groups that will want to do other different projects. So they can split up accordingly if they want to.
Yeah.
I think that gives the ability to do it. And we go through our modules for at least half the section.
Yeah. I think that would be nice, honestly.
Does everyone agree? Ratio, Seeker, maybe any opinions?
Yeah, all good points. Or go with the flow.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
I like. Okay.
And also, anyone out here has made a project proposal? Or...
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah, you're too excited, dude. Quick question. I only saw 3 people voting for putting our projects on a practical TE server. Oh, it's like 2 more. Okay, we're all good. So practical TE it is. Sounds good, guys. Just needed to confirm that. Okay, now it's project time, baby. And I made a little cute slide. So present your template in about 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure to say clearly and precisely why do you think this idea is worth everyone's time. Take time for a maximum of, we're way less people than we usually are. So obviously you can take on more than 2 questions. Hand off to the next person in the group to do their presentation. So you choose the next person who's going to present, okay? And then over the period of the next week, I will set up this, actually it was set up probably after today, but we could keep it running for a few days, the voting chart, okay? That's kind of the idea. So, as we're all so excited, who wants to start?
No, but how many people have a project idea? Seeker, Ratio, Ratio, you were discussing.
I don't have one.
Yeah. No, you're new here, don't worry. I don't either, actually, so I'm to blame here. Seeker?
I had an idea. I posted it on the group as well.
Yeah, let me call this up for you. Give me a second, because you made a nice post about it, I saw. So, hey guys, I did not get time to make a proper slide deck. Oh, you were about to make a slide deck, thank you. However, thanks to the template, I've made a high-level remarks about a potential project idea. The main thoughts behind choosing this were try to implement something towards public good and keep it simple and relatable. This should, in theory, help us in token engineering process. Happy to hear everyone's thoughts in our session today. So, I'm sharing my screen and everyone should see it. Now it's your presentation, Seeker.
Cool. Thanks, Stella. So the idea is actually in one line, if I have to say it, it's simply that you want to incentivize people to increase the green cover or tree plantation or something like that along those lines. And the problem that you're trying to solve here is climate change. And I think I don't need to elaborate anymore. It's a big problem and many people have been talking about it. I just mentioned a couple of stats here for anybody's reading. So why I wanted to do is, of course, this goes, when in my understanding, is something towards public good, use of Web3 for public good. Maybe other people have different thoughts. And basically, another reason that I kind of wanted to go in this direction is I already saw a few projects who are working along these lines with different ideas. So this makes the research part of it easy, that you already have something to start with. So you can look at like two, three projects, and you already know what kind of cryptoeconomic primitives they are trying to do, how they are trying to implement. So you have a starting point, and then you can try to build your own thought on it, that how would you do it. And in my opinion, try to keep it very simple. So just have a very simplistic system to start with, and then we can build more complexities on top of it. From a business or from an implementation or how it will go standpoint, the rough framework that I thought was like, how would you incentivize people, right? So if somebody does, the work that you want them to do, they will be given tokens. So let's say somebody has planted something and also maintaining it. So you know that both soil and trees are basically carbon sinks. So there are existing literature out there and formulas out there where you can compute how much carbon you have sequestered or basically removed from the atmosphere by maintaining a certain amount of green cover. Using that methodology, you can reward them tokens, and it will be progressively done as long as you maintain it and you are able to prove that it is there, and you can compute over time how much carbon has been removed from the atmosphere. And that way they will be entitled to certain amount of tokens, and this we can choose in the form of NFTs or whatever mechanism we want to go with. Now, how would those tokens be valuable? So that's basically what I'm talking on the supply side. I thought that you can go to, there are many brands who are more conscious, right? Who position themselves as, more environmental friendly, etc. So maybe for those brands, these set of people are like target customers. So they can, in lieu of those tokens, they can give some discounts. So that can be one way you connect the economy. If people are actually interested in doing all this, they are doing farming, gardening, and these kind of stuff, then there is already existing industry who may be interested, and it becomes a target segment group for them. So that's how you can probably close the loop there. There are already a lot of non-profits and government funding that come for this particular area, because I know for like in India, for every year there's a plantation drive, and there are government funds and public funds which are spent on that. So maybe this could be a mechanism that can be used for a better mechanism can be developed to use allocation of those funds. And another thing would be that there are organizations out there who have to offset the carbon credits by law, right? So there are like utility companies, and there are many other in different areas of the world, different rules are there. So maybe those also can be, we can thought of bringing them as one of the stakeholders in our assessment. And lastly, I thought of that this could be, also thought of as an additional revenue stream. So if you are able to monetize the green cover that you're maintaining, this could be an additional revenue stream for, let's say, stadiums, university grounds, and house owners and farmers and stuff like that. So those are the areas which I could thought on the along the lines on which you will try to build a tokenized economy or token-based ecosystem. Yeah, that's basically a very short of it. And questions, thoughts. I think there was some comment by Ratio.
Yeah.
I don't think deforestation is an issue. It's a side effect of a deeper social issue. Okay. If you can explain.
Well, I'm not saying that deforestation isn't the issue. The issue is that people don't have enough money for cooking fuel. They don't have enough money to live. They don't, like, their quality of life is poor in as much as they have to go out and steal these trees or cut these trees down, clear out the forest.
Right.
And
that's actually,
if you think about it, if you think about like recycling, like how much recycling is truly done of paper products and cardboard products, and how much of that actually goes back in? Because last I heard on recycling, even plastic, which doesn't really affect trees so much directly, is that it's cheaper just to produce new plastic versus recycling old plastic.
yeah, I can
So
sadly
why
confirm that
recycle?
from
then
Peru. I can confirm that.
I've got one more statement. I've got one more statement.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Got one more statement, then I'll shut up. So I was watching I was about to type this in, but it got really long. So I was watching this, I don't know, like a special or something where there was a nonprofit that was going out, and he was saying that all these people are trying to reforest or put these trees back and plant these large groves of trees, are wasting their time. And the best thing you could do is to give a person, for instance, he was in Africa, he said you can give them a fruit tree, something that will provide them something that they can sustain themselves on, and they will take care of that tree. And then they can continue planting that tree, and you'll have better opportunity of trees to actually grow if somebody's taking care of them versus just planting them randomly, say in Madagascar or something, to where they pretty much chop down their entire forest.
Great point, Resho. I think the last thing that you mentioned about a fruit tree could actually be implemented in this particular mechanism, where you could incentivize somebody to do X type of tree and also to maintain it. I think that's also an idea. that it's not just plantation, because the plantation thing happens every year and people don't maintain it. I agree with that. But if you incentivize people to keep proving that it's there and it is growing, you can set up an incentive mechanism for that, so to maintain it as well, and progressively they keep getting benefits. So I think we can think, those are great points that we can think on. I think to the first point, as you mentioned about plastic and it being cheaper, it might be true. However, I'll give you an example of my own city. Like, I come from a small city in central India, and honestly, growing up, I've seen that city as a very dirty city with stuff, garbage lying here and there, and people not caring about it. But today, it is the cleanest city in India, and it is just completely transformed, and people are just coming here and learning from how it has changed. And if somebody has asked me, let's say 10 years ago, whether it's possible, I would have said no, it's not possible because of XYZ reasons. But very simply, a good incentive mechanism was set up first by the Prime Minister in the form of a Swachh Bharat scheme. And then at the local administrative body, where people were incentivized to segregate their garbage and actually give it out to the municipal authorities. And then municipal authorities were further, systems were set that those garbage were taken, and waste processing units and other economies were developed on top of it. And now it has become a self-sustaining system where people are not only doing it for an economic purpose, because people are also doing it socially, because it has become part of the culture and part of the pride that people have, that socially they feel happy that they're part of a clean city, or it is now the cleanest city. So it's become like a thing where not only businesses are doing and innovating on the ecosystem, but also individuals are bought into that idea. So yes, I'm not saying this, what I'm proposing is a solution and actually implementable, but I thought this could be a good exercise for us to learn. I am looking at primarily as an exercise to learn the token engineering process and apply it in a context where it is not very difficult to understand. It's something that you can relate to. It's applicable for everyone maybe around us. And if things go well, then of course it may even become a real life project where you can implement at a larger level. That was my original thought.
Yeah, thank you. I also think it's interesting that you chose something where Trent already mentioned, we should try and build up on existing patterns before designing our own. So that's also something that I really like that you considered that. I think, take a look at what Laksh wrote in the chat. And also I put something for you in our Visual Learners study group chat. It's a really good talk from Griff Green, who's also, I think, part of the founder team of Tech. And he held an entire talk at DEFCON Bogota about public good and how people tend to create nonprofits, right? If they see a problem that they want to solve, and how Web3 can do so much better. So yeah, maybe this will help and be an inspiration if you want to develop this further and get people to join you. Okay, you can hand off to the next person. You can choose. It's your free choice.
Who else has made? I'm not aware. You want to go, Stella, if you have?
Oh, come on, I'm boring. I will go eventually. Poke the other guys. Just poke one.
And Reshu can go. I think Reshu also had something, I believe.
Did you say Kojak?
No, Reshu.
Oh, Ratio. Yeah, Ratio. Let's
go. I don't have a project. I haven't had time to even think about that template.
Did you okay, that's fine and totally fair. Did you see something that interests you recently, or something that has been bothering you that you would like to see a solve to?
Because you were discussing on the chat too, I saw, like, on the channel.
Yeah, no, like, my biggest thing is like pretty much an instance of what happened with FTX. and Alameda. Like my whole thing is people set up communities, and like it's I don't know if token engineers can solve it. I mean, they can kind of push for it, but my whole thing is like there's such a lack of transparency in the entire industry, and and like people set up communities. They set up communities, DAOs, commons, whatever. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody in particular, but they set them up so the founders can make a profit.
Yeah.
And that is my thing. Is like what I put in the visual learner study group was that like pretty much a commons that's built from the ground up. Everybody starts from zero, and there are no veto powers like Polkadot has veto power. Some people in Polkadot have veto powers when they have a community governance, so which kind of like drives the whole point of governance out the window for Polkadot. And so, I mean, honestly, that's pretty much it. Just like something that's really for the community, by the community, and it's open for anybody that's interested in the community itself versus setting it up as a business proposition. So kind of a commons, but a commons that's actually built by people, and it's not necessarily the brainchild of one individual.
Yeah, I think this is the general problem we're facing, right? That a lot of people just set this up to, for like I've talked to so many founders by now, and a lot of them are just very ego-driven individuals, right? They want to do this to prove, well, something to their parents, something to their friends, something to themselves. And I'm like, I just don't think it's a healthy way of starting those projects. Even, it's the kind of the wrong foundation. But also, we're still dealing with people, so it's not like I'm super surprised about it. Sadly, yeah. Okay, I got you. I hear you.
We should give Kojak a chance maybe because he has 15 minutes to speak.
Yeah. Can speak now for the next 15 minutes, maybe. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Kojak, do it.
Yeah. Can you hear me? I mean, I'm muted.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay. No, I'm just sitting out. Okay. Waiting for somebody to pick me up. Okay. Has anybody read my idea generation?
No,
it's on the screen right now. Yeah,
it's on the screen now, and you can present it if you want. I'm just seeing it's called Volts token. So tell us.
Yeah. So okay. So basically, the idea. I mean, it's actually I'm giving I'm fleshing out what was discussed by Strat Trader, Roro, and you. We had said that actually Roro had suggested that we have token to incentivize learning within the TE system. Okay, so that is an example of what I call is latent value which can be surfaced. Okay, so I have this particular theory. Thesis which says that of anything of value can be tokenized. So it's called ubiquitous. It's not a completely original idea. It's kind of being accepted. So within that particular framework, what I have suggested is it's possible for us to create a particular token which can be airdropped to the TE visual learners community, and which say supposing somebody gives a very good presentation or an idea, each of us can give those particular tokens to that particular person. And the way this particular model is actually built is this token can only be exchanged for the keys. I'm calling it Volt, but ultimately it will actually evolve into something called the techie. And techie will actually be convertible only to the TEC token. So TEC token is basically the governance token, and this Volt, which is an experimental token, is the utility token, or initially among the TEC visual learners community. Then it can expand to all the learners community, to TEC Academy, then to the TEC ecosystem, and it can expand. So initially, it can only be for. We can use it for. We can actually use it for for anything, because it's a kind of a general utility token. So the idea is it's a twin token that.
Oh, you're on. Or is it just on for me?
No, I couldn't hear him. My questions would be like, who gets to mint these tokens and how many can be mint? I don't know if you can hear me.
And I have a question also. So the TEC is the governance token. And the only way you can get techie is to actually buy it with TEC. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he said. So who's going to give up their governance tokens?
No, he said, I think I mean, my interpretation is it's something along the lines of almost like praise, like in the sense that if I do something for the community, people will give me this token somehow.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Soul Moon token.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I think I lost you guys, but I don't know when I lost you guys. For a second.
I don't know. we had a couple of questions maybe on this.
Yeah.
So who gets to mint these tokens and how many can they mint? Like, that's my question, actually.
So the thing is that the quantum and all the other finer details. It has to be modeled. Okay. So initially, we can just say that hypothetically we can say issue 100 tokens to say everybody within this particular thing. But the exact quantity and all that will evolve. So this is an idea.
Yeah.
So the
quantity can change.
And all that will happen.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. I'm just trying to think through.
So,
okay. I think the idea is good. Yeah.
Just to clarify, Kojak, so what you're essentially proposing is refining the token engineering ecosystem, right? This is like the overarching proposal. Okay, got you. Thank you.
Yeah. So but the point is that the core idea is basically as a concept, token engineering has got the potential to surface every possible value within, on planet Earth, or possibly beyond, for the sake. So, but we are starting off in a tiny way with the token engineering, visual learning group. So it's actually proving a much larger concept.
Yeah, got you.
Okay, I'm sorry, but there's a huge racket. I'm bang next to a huge, I've been in the station and others. Okay, yeah.
No, we got the gist, and I think any further questions we can maybe ask you on text, like on the channel. Because because I think we'll vote on this next week.
Yeah, there's a lot more to say, and I think the exchange between me and Stella in discussing FTX, how this particular proposal actually can be net. It doesn't mean net zero funding. I didn't get into the net zero funding aspect, but it can be funded with very low seed capital. Which actually reduces the particular risk. Please take a look at that, or I'll post a link for that a little later for this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
How? Yeah.
Thank you. These are very cool ideas.
Yeah. Or Stella, please, if you can do post that link. Take me out that reach home. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you, Kojak. I like that you came up with this idea of out of a very depressing discussion we actually had. So it's always nice to see how I think especially us in this server, right? we see negative things, but instead of deciding to be just depressed about it, we are like, hey, maybe we can do something about it. I think this attitude is gonna make all the difference, So
Yeah, I mean, no, the thing is, I mean, okay, I don't know. I mean, I think when things looks very bleak, it's a time where you have the biggest opportunities for so many reasons.
yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
I saw this recent comment on Twitter where someone said like, oh, like, was NFTs the biggest rug pull of them all, right? And I'm like, no, but it was viewed wrongly from the beginning, in my opinion, right? It was looked at like its own space. It's not its own space. It never was supposed to be. It's one technology that can be applied in a wider ecosystem, and people looked at it the wrong way, essentially.
Yeah, no, the thing is, the plus point I see in all this is now what happens, so the hype and hoopla, gets brushed away.
Yeah.
And it's so the point is that it's possible to start very, very small within small defined and grow the thing bottom up. See, you have to do real things, not some hyped up stuff, which in a bull market makes sense, but in a bear market like this, we've got to give real returns, and that's what I'm trying to talk about.
Yeah, I love the way Kevin Avoki puts it. It's like there's so many things we can do with these technologies, and somehow we find ourselves just building another decentralized casino.
Yeah, isn't it? It's so crazy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Kushak, your audio is not coming clearly, and I think we should move to Stella's presentation too now.
Yeah, please.
I'm sorry. No, thank you so much for presenting, and this is a very cool idea. I think this one excites me the most out of the ideas so far. Stella, you have to win me over with the next one.
Yeah, hand over to the next one. Do it.
No, that's you, Stella.
Oh, why is it me?
Who else is there?
I mean, we have Hibiscus cultivar. We have Chris.
Oh, do they have projects? I didn't see it.
I don't know, but like at least I want to ask. Like.
Yeah, sure. Chris, Hibiscus, do you guys have projects? I mean, any project proposals?
I don't.
No, Chris.
Do you have anything that has been recently bothering you or that has been standing out to you? And okay, let's not get back on FTX.
Nothing I can think of for now.
Okay, no worries. Hibiscus cultivar, do you have any? I know you don't have the project, right? But do you have anything that has been like? I know one problem that you've been mentioning before, and also here is that you want to be convinced that every project needs to have a token, right? Kind of that debate.
Yeah, I mean,
you're like, yeah,
I mean,
right.
A lot of the projects we use today, a lot of the product we use today, they don't actually need a token. I mean, for me, in this particular cycle, token are the biggest products. They became a product to lure the adopters into the crypto space. But do they have a actual functionalities? Do they actually accrue value? I mean, that's, for me, is still questionable, and that reflects in the reflexivity of the of the trading, right? And the things can readily dump 99%, and that's not great for a lot of the people who wants to come into this space and learn about it. It's a yeah. So, anyways, I mean, that's a different conversation. I mean, for me, as I put it in the notes, I like to be convinced that I mean, as much as a good practice, just getting hands dirty on a project, that's great, and I think hopefully throughout the learning process, I'll be sort of more convinced that it is a better way to harness incentivizing mechanism.
Yeah.
No, absolutely agree. I think the keeping what you said behind the back of our minds is one of the most crucial things when we're doing this, because otherwise, just because we have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Then, that's what's happening. Where everything you think can be a token design. But it needs to be thought through clearly. It needs to be, it needs to be sustainable, and that's the whole plan. Because if you make a token and it becomes a speculative tool, then you've actually not really done your purpose. It will get adoption initially, but only because it's going up. And as long as the numbers go up, you're fine. But when they don't, that's when your project also crashes along. So being careful of that is actually a crucial element of this. Laksh had a very good point too. Extrinsic motivation is bad if overused. That's true.
Yeah, agreed. And also, you know what, Roro, recently I actually wanted to talk to you about this, right? Because the point is also that all of these, rapid token launches, they are extracting a lot of value out of the Web3 space, right? But then if all of those projects are not really coming through, then this value that has been extracted is not given back, essentially. And that's also, without a purpose.
I remember you bringing this up at some other conversation.
I think so. Didn't I bring this up in TE?
In the practical TE one,
yeah. I think so. And the other part is that, wait. Oh, damn myself. Train of thought, lost. But it doesn't matter because we had 2 new people joining. Lutra, Florent, or Florent. Florent? Or is it Florent?
Hi there. Hope you all are well.
I'm good. Also, turn on your cameras now that we're a decent group again. Let's do the group picture. Cameras, girls, cameras. Come on, show yourselves. Pretty faces. 1, 2, 3, many. Look at all those smiling faces. This is my day. So, do you know what you're smiling for today? Do you know?
Oh.
Yeah, I needed that face.
Oh, I forgot this. Wait, it's Stella's birthday. Oh my god. Oh shit. Guys, we need a wish her. Oh my god.
Yeah, happy birthday.
I announced this last week.
Yeah,
damn. Oh,
Happy birthday, Stella.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I need to, I'll have to make her a gift to make up for this.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
A Stella token. Oh man, happy birthday, Stella.
You are the worst husbands anyone could imagine.
Yeah, unless it's on my calendar, I never remember. So I need to put this on my calendar now for next year.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Actually, I was happy I could bring it up myself. So.
Wow.
Catching some love here. But this is really great because Florent and Lutra joined. So let's see. Oh, also Florent, you froze. Your face froze, sadly. But also Lakshman, hi. We've never seen you in video, so hi. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, you guys have maybe a proposal for the group project thingy? Everyone's turning off the cameras like they're not here. You don't have to. It's all good. Oh, Stella Dollar with 1,000 APY. Ooh, love it. Yes, please do that. I'm all up for it.
Well, honestly, please accept my apologies, but I didn't make it this week to finish my proposal. So sorry for that. I had really a busy week, and I will join anything.
Right. No. Also, you can make your proposal in the next 1 or 2 days. Also, I think we'll vote on it next week. But,
yeah, exactly. You still have some time. You can post it in a chat with a short summary.
All right.
Like,
Okay.
you're all good. So
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
No worries.
But try to make it in the early parts of the week so everyone can think about what projects they want to go and by, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, let's say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good. Yeah, so Florent, maybe? Florent is already, I think he's finishing his 5th module or something, or he just finished it. So he's the most advanced visual learner that we have. He's our like proud child. But he's not here anymore, or he cannot unmute, or one of the two. Maybe he's typing. No, he's not typing either. Okay, so I will just go ahead. I wanted to put this in a nice slide deck, but yeah, because it's my birthday, I didn't give a shit. I'm sorry. I went shopping in the morning with my mom instead. That's the truth.
No, it's just great that you even came here, honestly, on your birthday. So we're just happy to have you.
Favorite day of the week, guys. So of course I'm here. So I didn't really rephrase this, right? And I want to rephrase this because it's just too much text, honestly. But the project name would be Multidimensional Passport. So one part of it is it's about carrying your identity with you, right? So I think I mentioned this maybe in Practical TE, maybe somewhere else, that just recently. Go Jack. So, please don't. That would be super embarrassing. So anyhow, at NFT London, which was very sad, as you might have heard, but one cool announcement was that people who already own, game NFTs or in-game NFTs on Immutable X, they can take them over to GameStop, to any kind of things that GameStop is developing, and they can be activated over there, right? And I think we've talked about this initially in some group chat as well, that I strongly believe in blockchain agnosticism. I don't believe in the idea of blockchain maximalism, where people are like, yeah, this is the blockchain, there's no other blockchain out there, it's dumb, right? All the different blockchains have different purposes and do one thing better than, another blockchain does it. So I think the future user, and I mean, not the user today, I really mean the future user, right? They will not care, right? They will probably not even know that they're executing some transaction on a very specific blockchain, even though that was the purpose. So all of this, has been like crumbling in my mind up and down. And eventually I came up with the idea of a multidimensional passport. So it's about identity, but it's also about translating and tracking your contributions in different projects and translating or converting them into experience points. And then with those experience points, think voucher card for shopping, right? You buy something in one store and then you get like a ton of vouchers and then you can buy something in another store. So it depends on a system that is like this, right? Where essentially you take your experience points and you can make them count in different environments. So it's like one overarching product that you can use on multiple chains and multiple projects, and actually meld different communities together, right? And this is something I would like to see in the future. I will make a more pretty and more obvious presentation about it, I promise, in the next 2 days. So I will put that in the chat. But yeah, that's kind of the rough idea that was going on in my brain.
Is your project for any particular segment of like maybe just gaming or something like that, or does it not limit itself?
No, I think the idea is not to limit it. We could make it because it's always better to have one specific use case. I think we could limit it, right? We could even limit it to a Token Engineering Academy, where say, okay, you get a TEA passport, or you get the multi-dimensional passport, and the first entry in the passport is everything that you've contributed to TEA, right? And then bind that in. Something like an NFT, which holds all your credentials, like the gaming NFTs. Similar to that, just overarching,
Is it like a wallet?
Huh?
Stella?
What?
Is it like a wallet?
No. Yeah, it's a massive CV. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I call it a multi-dimensional passport. I thought it was good enough, but I like massive CV. That's even better.
So it'll have all the stamps of the either things you've done or.
Imagine if, every project you've contributed gets like another page in the passport, right? So it's a dynamic, it needs to be a dynamic NFT, right? But then it would need to be an NFT that would be also be able to infused with tokens. So kind of like, I guess similar projects would be Hyper Vibes. I don't know if you've seen this. It's a platform where it's an open source platform actually, so maybe you will like this one. Hyper Vibes, I think .xyz. Hyper Vibes. Right. Hyper Vibes. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. So there would be already similar to what Sika had done, saying like, hey, let's look at existing things and patterns that do exist, right? So we would have that advantage in that project as well. We could draw from different projects that are already open source and look how they have done it and take, bits and pieces that we need, because we need different bits and pieces. It's not going to be done with just one of them. That's the more complex part, I guess. This also assumes that projects and communities have these existing NFTs or are willing to mint create. Yeah, so by making this idea completely open source, I think we would get a lot of people to use it. Because I've seen a lot of development in that space, especially on-chain credentials. But all of these are like very closed systems. And closed systems means, again, no transparency, right? And a lot of like fake stuff that could potentially be implemented. And then what is it worth it, right? It's nothing worth. If it's all fake again, then, well, we could save the idea from the get-go. I don't know Dieter score.
Also, I might be wrong, but is Gitcoin passport something similar maybe? Like, because it does capture identity across. They're trying to like make
Bitcoin passport is more on the identity lines.
Right.
This one, Hibiscus cultivar, is this NFT Degen score? Is this it?
No, it's. I think Degen score. It's a bit of a parody. How many projects have you used? How many have you had? It's kind of a credit, kind of a system to show how much you've done. How much DeFi you've done in the past. It's kind of a credential thing, but it's a slightly kind of a parody way to do it.
Yeah, so in my project, we're using dwork as a, organizing our tasks, right, in a decentralized and autonomous way. And this could be used as a base, right? Like extracting essentially the task points that people generate on dwork from the different projects, and then accumulating then on different pages essentially of this passport. I just feel like all of them are cooking their own little soup, and it's only worth as long as you're, being part of their ecosystem. But as soon as you leave the ecosystem, then, it's nothing worth anymore. This is my problem.
I mean, in one of we had the module where they were talking about how the Joel Monegro one about capital, where he was discussing like the main characteristic of these tokens needs to be like measurability, observability, and tradability. But like at least if you can't measure and observe, then it has no value in places you can't measure and observe it.
Yeah, so imagine if, the token that we create for the multidimensional passport, okay, there is the dynamic NFT, right? But then we should implement an incentive structure, I would say, for people to actually collect those stamps, right? So that would be the token that we would need to engineer. The other part is more or less business concept, and I would say collaging different open source repos, right? But yeah, I don't know. So I can make it more obvious. Are there any more questions? Or like also don't feel afraid to critique. Rachel.
With the incentive that you were talking about, I mean, wouldn't what was it called? The massive the
multidimensional passport. Come
Yes,
on, this is such a cute name.
The MDP.
Fine.
Wouldn't that be the incentive though?
I think
I don't know. I always get stuck on like how much incentive is too much incentive and what incentive is just right, because I see that having that MDP would be like extremely beneficial for people that want to bounce between communities and, like you said, hit up bounties on D work and other locations.
So remember how I said last week, and I think also in Practical TE, that it bothers me that people get stuck at a certain point with, for example, accumulating governance tokens or accumulating this kind of reward, or they keep accumulating, but then nothing happens anymore. So what I want is that people eventually can decide to take out the experience points from their passport because they don't fucking care anymore, which is fine, and they have the freedom to exchange them to our token and then do trading or invest in other projects, or I just want to make it loop, because the looping has been missing everywhere. I feel there is always an accumulation at some point and then nothing else happens. So I was thinking, oh, thank you, Hibiscus cultivar. I will add this to my research list here. Yeah, so that was kind of the initial thought, and then I think I told you last week that I needed to formulate an actual concept on which we should implement this looping mechanism. And the multi-dimensional passport has been on my mind for a while. I'm also trying to model an initial stage of that in Machinations right now, because I think this overarching tool that you can apply and use everywhere, but then you also have the freedom to take out experience points and exchange them for our native token. I think that would make sense. But essentially, if we would leave it at the MDP, I guess, that would be incentive enough.
Yeah, no, I really like the idea. My brain is just thinking about the attack vector as well, because even with the D work, for example, it's very hard. It's so hard to quantify how much work someone's done, or like how many task points should they get for a work, and every different if this becomes really popular, maybe one fear is that some projects can just start out. You can just start giving task points to people for absolutely nothing. And you could use that to maybe trade for these tokens and then leave. What happens then? It's just there are too many qualitative things which are very hard to quantify. And that's where I'm thinking, how would we deal with that? But very interesting problem though. The problem statement makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Laksh, for praising the name.
No, it's cute, seriously, and it's actually quite catchy. And use case that you defined, right, in fact, can be extended to anything which cuts across multiple chains. So wherever there is a multi-chain thingy involved, because see, that's going to be the future. There is no point in trying to do this only in one chain. So yeah, if you have something which can bring things across from multiple chains and then have it in this the multidimensional passport, I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
The use cases, I could actually think of quite a lot of things. It's because the idea is good, but I think once you have established something, you could actually the potential is actually quite huge.
No, without a doubt, this needs so much more research and in-depth work.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
Definitely, yeah.
Multiple chains brings with it, quite a lot of complexity. So yes, of course.
Yeah, I was about to ask you because you said that you've been dabbling into the Algorand environment, and Kat knows this, but beginning of this year, I was obsessed with Algorand because with the Reach protocol, they support multi-chain deployment, right? And yeah, I was wondering if this is also what drew you to Algorand.
Yes, because I did a course with Vatan, and that's how I got introduced to Algorand. Yeah, actually, at that point in time, it was Algorand was basically one of those chains which was projected as really solving the blockchain dilemma, and they also had this beautiful concept. It is not just proof of stake. It's kind of like a random proof of stake, which I thought was actually quite nice. You don't actually get stuck with whales and all this stuff. And the team was also quite good, and what they were trying to do, because Algorand did not have a proper lending protocol at the point in time, and Fox Finance was the team, and they were trying to come up with something. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. No, I honestly, I saw them speak at, what was it, at East Denver for the first time, and I got very obsessed. Did a ton of research on it, and even got involved in the Reach community and everything. And I saw them again at NFT NYC, and the jump that they made from February to, what was it, May, I believe, it was just mind blowing. They are working so
they're
hard.
actually quite active. Yes,
Yeah.
they're working quite hard.
But
they're actively trying to build their environment. But the problem is, go on, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and also another problem that they have is there is no communication. Like, you don't hear them, you don't see them. They're just not very out there. Neither the developers nor.
Very true.
Yeah, it's so sad, but this is what I meant the other day as well, right? Like, we can only make people aware of it if we ourselves, as we start to understand all of this better, if we become active multiplicators on social networks, right? Because we need Web 2 to understand what Web 3 is, right? And who better to tell them than our little group here and all the other 26 or 30 groups now, right? So
very true. Actually, what you said is quite right, because the Algorand whole thing was started by Silvio McCallie, right? And that guy was one of those people who initially started the zero knowledge proofs, right? And I was surprised that Algorand is not that famous by now.
Yeah, because they have a lot of good things going. It's honestly it's kind of sad because they stand for truly good value chains, but not enough people know about it. So
yes, that's correct. But one thing to note, what I heard from the developers whom I interacted with, it's very difficult to develop.
I see.
That's one of the major challenges here.
Yeah. Lutra?
Yeah, I have a question to your project. I mean, I really like the idea, and I think that's a really good opportunity, to create something like this multi-profile thing. I was wondering about the token. Because I get the idea, you do some work, give some input, you monetize it with experience point, and to cash it out somehow, you have the token. But where does the demand for the token come from?
I have no idea yet.
Somebody to sell it to, right? And I was wondering who is buying this token that you can exchange for your experience points.
I think it's a little bit like people buying other people's debt, in a sense. I would assume it's kind of the same mechanism, but honestly, yeah, we would really need to talk about this.
Like, we will need to find a utility for that token itself. And if there is, then
you need a utility for the token itself so that there will be demand for it. So supply side is quite clear. You can mint it by using your experience points, and experience points behind that is the work done, let's say, or the input you delivered to some kind of project or community. But we need somehow a use case for the token, for the currency of this exchange.
maybe we could actually. Oh, Kat, yeah, go ahead, please.
I was going to say the idea should be that it's the tokens used for gas fees, and that's how that's the utility of it. That's like how that could work.
Mhm.
You mean instead of paying gas?
No, you can use the utility for, or the token for gas.
Oh, okay, yeah. But
So you're essentially creating a new like internet. I mean, I know that's what all of this is, but it's like looking at it like a new like in the States we have Verizon, or like it's like you're paying for a different internet service.
okay. I mean that, yeah, okay. I mean, it could also be. I mean, honestly, we need to think about this, and we need to do what we're supposed to do to make this high-level proposal into something much more detailed, much more well thought through.
Well, somehow I have the same problem. I would like to create a DAO, like a co-working space, and people should get rewarded for their work they do. And I want to create a token economy around it. But it's really not that simple to find use cases for this.
Wait, Lutra, actually, wait. Actually, we can have two use cases for this. We could make one of them where people exchange their experience points to donate to the project that Seeker proposed, or obviously refined version, right? So people could donate their experience points to, well,
the project.
To support like forestation and all of that, right, and lower carbon emissions. That could be one, right? I always enjoy if you give people options. No one should feel forced to do stuff. So, and the other proposal would be, if you're not the donator guy, which is fine, that's okay. Then we would go back to, let's say, an abstract version of Kojak's idea. Like that, we could actually do all three projects, but package it into one. And then it would probably make even more sense.
Oh, you're saying as a group, maybe make all three and connect them.
Embed them with each other. Yeah, because then it truly starts becoming an ecosystem, Because I also tend to think, I don't know how you guys have been processing this, but I actually think token engineering is not the correct title for what we're doing. Because we don't, it's like Hibiscus cultivar said, right? We don't always need a token to make a healthy, functioning, sustainable, self-growing, self-fostering ecosystem. We're designing ecosystems. That's, I think, what we're trying to do. Healthy, sustainable, growing ecosystems. Lutra?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay.
A lot of ideas, and you have to grasp them, and it's working in my mind right now.
Mine too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, maybe there is not such a necessity for a token on its own. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not. I think it's only if we connect a bunch of things that make sense together. This is how we build an ecosystem, right? If we cannot connect a bunch of things, then where's the ecosystem part? It doesn't seem to be there. Okay, so how about that? Seeker and Kojak is not here anymore, but we have his proposal. Maybe we can, I don't know, what do you think about this idea? If we embed all of these three visions?
So I think very interesting topic you have brought up here, Stella. Essentially, what you're trying to do is in a way, it's like you're building a reputation system, right? It's like a way to build a profile of a person, because on-chain reputation or on-chain profile, something like that you're touching upon, where activity on-chain essentially leads to kind of your profile or a score, which essentially has a value in the real world. Right? How do you value in the real world is something obviously during the process you'll have to think about. But it need not be. I mean, the way you described it. I mean, just a thought is similar to how credit card points you get, and then you can spend it to buy some products. It need not be like that. It can be something else also. So anyways, those are the things that you got to think about. Because essentially in this case, why that experience point that you're talking about has value is the question to be answered, and to whom it will have value.
Yeah.
Right. So I think those are the two important questions to be answered. If you get the mechanism right, or and what Oro pointed out was also true. Like, how do you verify it is not gamed, right? It's like somebody just doing something without anything, and it's your point. You're issuing points to them. So how do you know actual stuff is happening and the person is gaining? That could itself lend to a simple, like a recruiting market. Like, somebody comes, somebody does some work, somebody learns, and then they progress to some level or collect certain number of points. Maybe they are now qualified and hireable. So the interview process gets cut down. You don't need to organize hackathons. So you can even think on that direction, for example. So there can be many.
Or there could be
things,
another stakeholder, like a verifier, who goes through different DAOs or projects and checks whether maybe like
how do you incentivize
the experience points are being used properly. Yeah.
We could bring
Right.
in KYC DAO for that purpose. They could KYC all of this. Sorry, Seeker, go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, so you would have to think of these things that in order to solve or in order to progress further on this one. One thing that comes to my mind is to start with, why are we thinking multi-chain? It could be easier to just start with a single chain. Let's just start with Ethereum or any other chain that you like. And if the idea works and the ecosystem builds, expanding it to multi-chain probably could be possible. It will probably be more a technological challenge as opposed to an incentive structure challenge. So to simplify it, maybe you can think of starting with a single chain.
Yeah, because even working with multiple DAOs is still a similar problem.
Yeah. I mean, it simplifies the tech part of it. So you can implement it in an easier way. You can model it simpler, because every blockchain would have, its own, as you said, nitty-gritties, features, pros and cons, and stuff like that. So just to modeling it and doing it, maybe it's easier to just focus on one chain with one set of problems. And then if you build an ecosystem, then you can think of transferring it parallelly to multi-chain world. It's not an easy problem actually to solve. So.
No, but I like complicated stuff. So.
Yeah, and I think this is a problem that will be very useful to many different ecosystems.
Yeah. So actually, one of the things that I was working. One of the things that I have been thinking about and discussing with one of the study groups is. We were thinking about building a public accountability dashboard. So in a way, what happens is there are creators, there are solopreneurs, there are people who are doing things, but eventually they have to accomplish stuff. And how do you incentivize them to actually accomplish those things? So what idea came up was that somebody will stake real money or ETH or something like that against yourself. Like, I'm going to stake something that I'm going to be able to do XYZ, like build this presentation, to do this, or whatever task you want to accomplish. And if you are able to do that, then the money will be returned back to you, but it will go as a record that you accomplished this task. And eventually, if you keep doing it, there will be a whole history that is built that this person has this kind of capability or historical record of delivering to what they say and stuff like that. So you build like a accountability dashboard, and if you're not able to do it, then that money goes to the community pool, to the ecosystem pool. That was the initial thought on which we are trying to discuss how can we bring the incentive mechanism. So I was just bringing it out because it's similar to, in line with what your thought is, like it's related.
Okay, let's actually think through all of these different ideas. how do we want to go about it? At least like we'll post all of the ideas on the.
And this last thing, I think what Sela asked the question about having multiple projects, I think it's a good idea because everybody should choose whatever they are excited about. So let's say if we have 2 projects or 3 projects, it's fine. And then all these projects can actually present every week. So you learn what questions they are having, what challenges they are having and stuff like that. And maybe if people have time, they can contribute to different projects, or if not, they can focus on one project, whatever that interests them. So it need not be just one project for the whole group, because it may not be interesting, like one topic may not be as interesting to everybody.
No, that makes sense. And also what we've agreed is, at least like initially we voted on that, we all will move the project building and the project discussions to Practical TE, the server. And the way we'll go about it is, at least the idea is that first 45 minutes of our sessions every week will be discussing the modules, exams, etc., and like the TE fundamentals work. And then the rest, the next 45 minutes maybe, we'll move to Practical TE or something like that, and we'll all discuss our own projects that we are building. So split 50-50 into like project building and the module discussion. Does that fairly break it down, Stella?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. I will inform Curious Rabbit today that I get admin power on the server, and I will make for us like a specific section. And then if we've decided on the projects, every project will get their specific channel as well. Exactly. Yeah. So we can move on from there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'm just making notes on all the fun links. Florent, we still I haven't heard from you about if you wanted to propose something. Or
yeah, I'm really sorry. I actually still didn't change my calendar, so I thought it was 2:30 for me, and actually it was an hour earlier. Still not up to date anyway. I changed my calendar, but I didn't follow the whole meeting, so I guess I'm gonna check the recording to see what you discussed. Otherwise, it might have a lot of overlap. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair and fine. Don't worry about it. I think the Terra Luna one is maybe, I don't know, did anyone meet last week with Strata?
No, I don't. I mean, I think the discussion is going on the channel, but I think Strata will either make the project proposal or...
Okay, okay. He would get it, sure. I'm sure.
Strata said that he was he wanted to use the template that Curious put out on Practical TE.
Right.
So that's all I know. I don't know where's that from there.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think latest point I will open up a voting block on a Wednesday or Thursday. So we have actually some result for Friday. And yeah, but this was a great session. Thank you guys for being so super active in the discussion. And yeah, let's continue talking about it a little bit more in the channel, I think. And as soon as I've set up everything at Practical TE, I mean, I already put the link in our chat, but you can obviously join before that. You will clearly see like where all the cool emojis are. This is where our section will be. So will be super obvious. Hibiscus, you want to unmute instead of typing? You can also say something.
Also, if anyone has an issue with the 45 minutes or switching to Practical TE, bring it up. Like we are all still deciding what's the best approach to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Rachel. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Also, I'm really sorry, Stella. This is like going to stick with me.
When is your birthday, Roro?
Oh, mine's in July. Yeah. July 11th. Oh, man.
Just a quick question. Will we talk about the module and the exam questions next week?
Yeah, we spoke about a part of it. Oh yeah, we should have said we will continue the module right now.
Oh yeah, we will continue. Sorry guys, that was very unstructured of me. I'm pure chaos. Okay, so reading would be for next week, introduction to the design phase, right? And fairy tale part 5 to 8C. That would be up for next week. And Lutra, I will upload the recording. In the beginning of the session, we talked about the the 4 chapters that we've been reading for this week. No one seemed to have any questions about it, so that was good. If you still have some questions or doubts, you can bring them up now if you want.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm just wondering, maybe I missed our starting time. Isn't it 1:30?
Well, it depends. Like, what does it say on your server? So you see how all the way up in the left column, it says 14 events. So if you click on that, the event should always show up in your time zone where you're at and where your Discord is being registered, essentially. And
so it's 11:30 UTC, right? Like that's the one we stick with. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So let me just quickly share this on screen. Also, I don't know if everyone is already very comfortable with Discord, but all the way up here, it says 14 events. And this is also where we register usually our study club, right? And it should show up this time. It should show up in your time zone automatically. So you can always verify on here. I haven't put up the next. No, I have put up the next one. 18, so it's 12:30 p.m. my time currently here. Usually it's 6:30 a.m. for me in the morning in Peru. So this one should show up in your time zone. So if you go there now, Lutra, can you tell me what Friday, November 18th Visual Learner Study Club says for the time for you?
Yes.
Also, I have to drop out, guys. But yeah, thanks for the session. Bye.
Bye, Roro.
Bye. Where are we putting where we're supposed to be doing the work, or what work we're doing, like what reading we're doing? Because I'm not seeing it in the.
Wait, I will show you. I will show you in a. Yeah, Kat. Wait, I will show you in a second. I'm with you. I just quickly want to clarify if Lutra is finding the right time for me, and I will be there. Lutra?
Yes.
You're finding it?
Yeah, I'm finding it. It will be 12:30 my time. All right.
Yeah, should be. Okay, cool.
Great.
Okay, perfect. So now, Kat, I will, as per usual, I will upload the slides to the to our Google Drive, and we'll post the link again in the Visual Learners channel. So where are we? Here we are, right? I will put it in here. And if you ever are in need of finding the former sessions, you can always go up here to this pin. See how it's like 8. Oh, this was already the 8th session. Are we in the 9th session?
I meant like where what module we're on, and like what like I don't know. I don't remember what you said for what we're supposed to be reading for next week.
Oh,
like
okay,
I couldn't find what we're doing for this week.
Yeah. Okay. For this week, it was module 3, Fairy Tale, first 4 chapters. That was for this week.
Okay.
Right?
So we're not okay.
What?
Okay, so it's in the slides.
Yeah.
I have to go into the slides to find this. Okay. So we're not using the Notion anymore?
No, it's also in the Notion. You can also go to the Notion.
Okay.
But yeah, for this week, module 3, first 4 chapters, which I don't know if you've already gone there, but it's actually it's pretty nice and light reading. So that's good. And for next week, introduction to the design phase and fairy tale part 5 to 8C.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if I want to focus more on the modules, because the project idea is great, but I also want to focus on like the
on the learning.
Like first I want to focus on the actual work. And then the project can be secondary. So should I just hop into a different study group then?
No, we will be doing the modules as per usual, but it starts that, the theoretical part, I don't know if you guys have realized, but the chapters here are very short, right? And the reason is the content is now shifting, the balance is shifting. So before there was a lot of reading, and like understanding, but now the modules will shift towards more practical exercises. So we thought also the study group should be built in that way. So 45 minutes up to an hour we can spend on, discussing the chapters and the modules. And then we would be hopping into the practical TE server working on the projects. This is the idea. But it will not be abandoned or anything. It's just the content will be less rich. And therefore we thought we should use that time and start applying what we've been learning, so the knowledge is being manifested instead of maybe even lost at some point.
Yeah, I totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not going to end the study group. The study group will continue as per usual. Just the time will be split. That makes sense.
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right, Stella, I have to go as well. I wish you a wonderful day. Enjoy your birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you,
See you all
Luca.
next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm going to hop off as well. I'll talk to you later.
See you later. Bye. Vishal, anything you wanted to ask? See, you're still here. Or maybe you don't know how to disconnect.
Hello.
Hi, Vishal. Anything you wanted to ask?
I just wanted to ask what model we are on. Actually, Roro answered that question. I was actually part of the first session that we had when I dropped up to that was going on. The crypto and the company itself. So today I joined. I got to know that we're also working on the project.
Yeah, sure.
So I just wanted to. Hello.
No, this is open. This is for everyone, Vishal. No worries.
Yeah. So thing is, for the project, could you just tell me what should be the idea around, on what basis we should come up with the ideas and all?
Oh, okay. So Strada and we made this template that you should be able to find in the Visual Learners channel. I think I pinned it. Maybe I didn't. Oh yeah. See, problem solvers, idea generation. This is the link. Let me also put it in our chat here.
Got it. I found it actually.
Oh, you found it? Okay, great. So following that template, right, just do a very high level proposal of something, ideally something that has been bugging you or something that has been bothering you or an observation that you had during your time in the space where you're like, well, that could be done better. The more this relates to you, I feel the more passion in the project will flow, and people will actually engage with it. So, but like what you want to do is like entirely open. You saw I proposed something very different from what Seeker proposed, from what Kojak proposed. So I think the main point is that maybe think about doing something that is for the public good. So for example, I know there are a lot of credential projects being developed, but none of them are very transparent and none of them are necessarily open, right? Or open source. So that's already a problem because, stuff like that with FTX or with, even Celsius and so on and so forth. Like the main issue with that, in my opinion, is it's very centralized. It's very centralized structures that are building the foundation of these projects. And then what happens is people tend to abuse them, right? And the same goes for credential systems. If they're being controlled by one power, who doesn't say that those people in power will not put like super cool credentials on their accounts, right? Even though they've maybe never earned them. So this is why I would like to try and build something of that format that is a little bit more overarching, very open source, right? And can be used in all kind of circumstances and be connected with each other. Because then I think it makes truly sense and brings real value to the space.
Got it. And so moving forward, let's say we come up with the ideas, and then the people who will be working on this project would be from our group itself, or will be like getting people from outside also.
No, it would be just us figuring stuff out for now.
Okay, got it. That's nice, actually.
Yeah,
see if we can come up with ideas.
Right, I think so too, because it's one thing reading all this stuff and doing your certificates, but the other stuff is if we cannot prove that we actually know then how to apply it, it becomes very questionable again, right? And we need more than one perspective on all of those things. It's not enough to sit in your little chamber and cook up ideas that are super perfect and awesome, but nobody else knows about it, and no one else has been asked if they even want this idea. So yeah, I think it's good training,
That's a good initiative, actually. Thank you so much for explaining.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy birthday. Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you.